Good morning, everyone. It's 9 a.m. and I'd like to call the McLeod County Board of Commissioners meeting to order. It's April 7th, 2026, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like everyone to remain standing after the Pledge of Allegiance for a moment of silence, recognizing the passing of former McLeod County Commissioner Ray Byral, who served as the 1st District Commissioner for 23 years from June 13th, 1990 through April 8th, 2013. January 8th of 2013. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you again. I did not serve with Ray, but I knew him. He was a unique individual and worked hard for McLeod County. So today, first of all, we're going to start with a recognition. So I'll turn it over, employee recognition. I'll turn it over to Hannah.
Good morning, commissioners. Great to see all of you, and really fun to see all of you. What an amazing crew sitting here today, and this says a lot about the person that we're about to recognize. For those of you that are joining online, we have a full room, and that's not always the case. And it's here to support and recognize a combination of 33 years of dedicated service to McLeod County for one of our Health and Human Services supervisors, Donna Kraut. And we are extremely excited to have Donna, we get to celebrate this moment with her. So I think we'll just start with a little round of applause. That is a really significant years of service. I've gotten to know Donna through my time here at the county as my 6 years in this role as Employee Relations Director, and Donna and I have had the opportunity to work through a lot of different leadership items, and it's been a gift to get to know her. And actually, before I started at the county, I worked at United Way, and I was brand new to this community. I was trying to figure out kind of like who McLeod County was. I was new to the area. I'm from a small community in Wisconsin, and I was familiar with rural communities, but really didn't know much about McLeod County itself. And so I thought, who do I need to connect with? I think I sent a general email to somebody, and I was like, can I just learn about like what services exist for those who are needing services? And Donna was really willing to meet with me, and I'll never forget that meeting where she just offered some really great insight about who her team serves every single day. The fact that they're really serving particularly our aging population, and it was just a really meaningful experience for me in my role before I even started here, and then we got to work together a few years later, which was really meaningful. So that's my connection to Donna, and I'm excited to hand it over to Barrett Spores, our director, who will share a little bit, and then if Donna would like to say some words, we would invite her to do that too. And I also want to thank her family for being here as well. This is really, really special.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm Barrett Spores. I'm the McLeod County Health and Human Services Director, Donna's supervisor. Today we are celebrating someone who has been a steady and trusted presence in our agency for more than 3 decades. Donna Kraut began her career in 1992 as a long-term care eligibility worker. In 1997, she was promoted to what was then called a Maxis mentor. So that just shows you how old Maxis really is. In early 1999, Donna left McLeod County to take a specialist position in Scott County. After completing her probation there, the McLeod County supervisor position opened up and she tossed in her application. Nearly 27 years later, she has built a remarkable legacy of leadership, consistency, and care. I've had the pleasure of working with Donna for the past 5.5, almost 6 years, and in that time, I've truly come to appreciate her steady leadership and unwavering commitment to her team. Donna is the person people turn to for guidance. Calm, knowledgeable, supportive, and always encouraging. She has lifted up countless members and created a work environment where people feel valued, respected, and capable, even in the toughest moments. Her work has left a lasting mark on our agency, a legacy that will live through the people she has guided and the culture she helped shape. While we are all incredibly happy for Donna as she begins her well-deserved retirement, we are also going to deeply miss her steady guidance and warm, welcoming presence. As you look out into the audience today, you can see just how much she will be missed, reflected in the respect and gratitude of everyone gathered here. Donna, thank you for your dedication, compassion, and professionalism that you have brought to this agency and the people we serve. Please join me in congratulating Donna on her well-deserved retirement. We wish you rest, joy, and wonderful new adventures in this next chapter.
I'm afraid to turn around. Oh my gosh, I'll get the scroll out. No, I'm just kidding. Good morning, commissioners, Sheila, Ryan. Thank you all so much for this opportunity to address you this morning as part of my exciting new adventure in life. The tears start flowing. No, they're happy tears. No, they're happy tears. This has truly been a meaningful lifetime of work and service above self, always keeping in mind that I worked for the taxpayers of the great county of McLeod and the great state of Minnesota while trying to be fiscally responsible, supportive of staff, all while keeping pace with the ever-changing policies and procedures that resulted from the annual legislative changes that came our way. All so I could assure that my team issued McLeod County citizens the benefits they were needed and were eligible for. And they've done amazing work. Thank you, ladies. Unbelievable. 3 decades have passed. Wow. Bizarre to even say that out loud, isn't it? Recently read a quote that stuck with me. We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give. Thank you for the opportunity to make a great life through giving. I've given greatly, and now it's time to step aside and call it a career. I can do this. It is with the highest respect I leave my financial supervisor role and make way for one of my many highly capable, intelligent team members to step up and into the role of leadership within our agency and to start their own career of service. They say that when you choose a job you love, you never work a day in your life. Certainly can't say I haven't worked a day in my life, as every day has been truly plumb full of work. But I can say I've loved the meaningful work, the mentorship I've been blessed to provide, and the listening ears that I've developed. My team is the best. I will miss interacting with them, but the proverbial lake is calling. And as always, I am answering. We'll pretty much live full-time at the lake, which is Lake Minnewaska. Everybody has the lake, right? For the next 5 or 6 months, go kind of break that routine of work, and then we'll make some plans to winter. But obviously, we can't go too far without the littles, so we would miss them dearly. So, you pumpkin? So I'm glad we've had this time together, but it is time to say thank you and farewell. My work here is done.
That was awesome. Thank you so much to Barrett and to Donna for choosing to share words. Not always an easy thing. And again, thank you for everybody for being here. I think we're going to do a few photos now. We'll have Donna come up with the commissioners, and then we'll invite, I think, the whole team to come on up for a group photo, if that's all right.
If the commissioners want to say some words first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead. Commissioners, anything? Yes, thank you.
I don't have a lot, Donna, but we crossed tracks many times. I mean, both personally and professionally, and I mean, you can tell by the respect from your staff there, how much of a good impact you made. But I always felt when I left after talking to you, I got the real scoop. I mean, you didn't really mess around, but you told me how it was, and I appreciated that, both as a commissioner and as some of my own personal problems. So, thank you, and you will be missed.
Yeah, well, congratulations on your retirement, though. There's some awful big shoes to fill. You've been here since I got here, and I've been here for a while as well. And whenever you stood up in front, you just laid out the problems or the plan in a format that even I could understand, and I definitely appreciate that. And I think you've trained an awful lot of people to do their jobs very well. So thank you for your service here.
Donna, I want to congratulate you on your great career with McLeod County and your upcoming retirement. The room full of people just shows how much you were valued in McLeod County and how respected you were. Thank you.
Donna, thank you for a long years of service. That's a long time for one position, one changing position, and never knowing what you're going to get. Again, the group behind you, next to you, appreciates all that, and the group behind you is going to miss you. The group next to you is going to love it. So enjoy your time, and thank you so very much.
Yes, and yeah, congrats. You were also a tremendous resource to my office and my staff. You were always very responsive and willing to walk us through your various programs, which we needed to understand to do our job, but we wouldn't have without someone like you. So you'll be missed by various offices and departments, so enjoy.
Donna, you started helping me right when I walked in the door about 9 years ago, and we had a crappy situation to deal with immediately, and seeing how you handle items with tact, no matter the conflict or what has to happen with it. And you are probably the only supervisor, sorry to the other ones in the room, that I've never heard anything negative about. Any of your team members throughout the years that I've been here, in 2017, always good, even if there was a troublesome event going on. You have a way, and you said that you're done working. Maybe. We might call you someday. And the only other wish that I had that Barrett didn't cover was that you get to go shopping a lot, and I will miss all of your fashion and telling me that my outfit looks cool too, even when I don't feel like it does. But we love having you here. We were very fortunate. You'll be greatly missed. Thank you for everything you do.
Okay, one more round of applause. That was great. Thank you, commissioners. Thank you, Brian, Sheila. Donna, go ahead.
Yeah, why don't you come back to take a photo with them, and then the other photos we'll do in the front. Aaron, you can come up here. Go wherever you need to. No, I love you.
Perfect. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Awesome. And I think we'll have everybody come down here, and then can I have a team come on up, and I guess the family, if they want to come with their photos. That was just for team.
All right, back to the county's agenda. Consideration of agenda items. Any additions or corrections?
Mr. Chair, there's an addition to the workshop, but you can approve the agenda first. Correct?
All right, is there a motion to approve the agenda items?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright and seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda.
No changes, Mr. Chair.
To approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cheska. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I'm requesting the addition of an item to the workshop. Discussion of environmental services facility parking lot with Mark Zaleski, Environmental Services Director, and Andrew Engel, Public Works Director and County Engineer.
Any questions from the board about the addition? If not, I'll entertain a motion to include it in our agenda or into our workshop.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright and seconded by Commissioner Schmalz to add a discussion of environmental services facility parking lot. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Building services, Joe.
Good morning.
Good morning.
3 items for your consideration this morning. Item A, consider approving an agreement with Widseth out of Baxter, Minnesota for a mechanical and electrical study at the McLeod County Courthouse at a cost of $9,350 with funds from the County Buildings Major Repair Fund 01-115. This study is required to get a cost estimate on what needs to be replaced and upgraded at the courthouse. This would be kind of an extension to the roof study that was completed this past year.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
if you could maybe elaborate to the involvement you've had with us while looking this over, and then we recognize that it was necessary to expand on the original study. That might help the rest of the board.
It's a little redundant, I know, Joe, but I guess I'd like to hear it too. I mean, what connection, back from the beginning, we're looking at doing a roof and
Yeah.
to the old part of the courthouse, and after looking into it, we have some specific issues that need to be addressed and get prices on, but you can take it from there.
Yeah, there's so much involvement, so the roof, they presented a couple of options to us to look at, but with the electrical and mechanical portions of the building, we've got some knob and tube wire, original like screw-in style fuse panels. A lot of wires ran all over in the upper section of the roof, below the roof, I guess, the elevated portion. The mechanical side, there's pneumatics controls, so there's like an air compressor running all the time. We have areas that suffer from extreme humidity during the summertime. So this portion is to try to get a full handle on that scope to be able to present a total package for what's required for the building.
So, and to add to that, Mr. Chair, looking at these 2 studies and at needs at the courthouse, obviously with it being a historical building, we have to maintain the building, of course, and we want to, or the board has wanted to throughout time. It's looking at all of the projects as a whole as much as possible and not piecemealing that and bringing things to you over and over without having a plan for long term. So the things that will be included in the study, and I know Commissioner Wright has spoken to this, I might want to chime in, but they're not all to occur immediately. It would be some things in 20 years, 5 years, and to give you a better picture of that. So throughout time, yourselves and others who come after you have an idea of what will need to be done in order to follow it. Of course, you'll have to change as you go along, and some things will change in cost, but looking at what those costs are today and what the scope of the project really is important. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Go ahead, Commissioner
I
Wright.
think as we know that we're looking at a substantial potential project at the courthouse to fix it up and to modernize some of what has been just a series of Band-Aids in the past. And if I remember correctly, there's been like either 4 or 5 additions on the courthouse. A lot of these steps along the way have been done with the best tools at hand at that time. But we really need to look at what is a big project going to be in order to do more than just another layer of Band-Aids, and to be able to look at the mechanical and electrical is just another component that we have to have in order to make some very well calculated plans to what is going to be a substantial price tag down the road. So this is just one more piece that we have to approve, I feel, so that we have everything in front of us when that day comes due to start making a plan. I will make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Smalls. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
supportive of the motion. I think it's the timing is right for us to look at a comprehensive, repair rather than Band-Aid repair like Commissioner Wright has stated. So I can support the motion as presented. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Mike, I just have a last comment. It's important for me not to do things twice, and this is a start of drawing a roadmap of what we need to do to get the courthouse, lack of a better word, back in shape. I mean, it's just a number of things came together in this area, and we need to address them, and it's important for me not to have to do things twice, so that's what this will lead up to. So, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, motion carries. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks. Item B, consider approving an estimate from E Square Electrical of Hutchinson, Minnesota for the McLeod County Fairgrounds electrical and lighting project at a total cost of $86,982.81 with funds from the Fairgrounds Fund 25-117. The Fairgrounds Committee recommended approval to the project during its February 12th, 2026 meeting, and it was discussed at a board workshop on March 17th. Now, this project has a projected annual cost savings of $16,229.98. The county also received an estimate from Design Electrical at a total cost of $107,940. So this project is kind of a fun one to work on. I mean, we get a pretty good cost reduction. It helps get us out of the large user demand, which is for the electrical charge, and improves the lights, the lighting at the grandstands. So we've several of us had meetings with the Hutchinson Utility Commission, and they've been very helpful at putting this together, as well as and supportive to and somewhat point out some of the savings that we could have by doing this project.
Questions from the board?
Mr. Chair, as you mentioned, this was brought up at the Fairgrounds Commission, is also discussed at the last Ag Association or Fair Board meeting. There's more here than just better lights. As Joe had mentioned, the power consumption through the lighting system that's there now, that is 30-some years old, is absolutely inefficient, and I think parts are a concern for this particular body of lights as well. And so it just makes sense to modernize that. It's not only light for shows, but it's also light for security, and it's used quite a bit during those times when there's a lot of equipment or people and machinery out in that infield area. And I think with the usership that we continue to see at the fairgrounds, it's just going to be on even more. So I think this is definitely a worthwhile expenditure to save money and increase our safety and security at the fairgrounds as well.
Any other comments or discussion? I would agree. Just to add on to that, it's a growing pain. I mean, I know some of the it's not necessarily lighting, but lighting's included. Some of the events are getting bigger and there's plugins. I mean, there's really more to it that our demand on our fuse boxes and transformers, lack of a better word, but are on there, so we have to stay with it. It's a good thing as long as we keep growing. I mean, that's what's causing it. So with that, I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made by Kruger and seconded by Chaska to approve the electrical lighting project for the fairgrounds. Is there any more discussion?
I do have one question, Jim.
Go ahead.
So on the second part of that project, you're installing 26 fixtures? Where's that? Like, I see your map where you show.
Yep, so that's the grandstands. So there's a tower, a light tower.
Yep,
And those, we'll be replacing those lights
just in that tower.
on that tower, yeah.
Okay, I
And
wasn't
then,
sure.
and then the other two areas that are highlighted are for the electrical panels.
Yep.
Replacement of the existing. And Hutch Utility Commission will be installing another transformer for a second service.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
All right, item C, consider approving a public notice requesting sealed bids for the jail controls, or jail door controls and intercom project for the McLeod County Jail. The bid request would be published in the McLeod County newspaper for 3 consecutive weeks and sent to our preferred contractors as described in the McLeod County purchasing policy. This project was discussed at a February 17th, 2026 County Board Workshop.
Questions from the board? I know I talked about it for sure at the workshop. We'll commented on some issues, and I think we've even had some talk about it at the board meeting. But with that, is there any more questions or comments?
Mr. Chair, I'll move request.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Motion was made by Schmalz and seconded by Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. County Assessor Sue. Good morning, Sue.
Good morning. I'm not as tall as he is, so I'll have to move it a little bit. I'm here on a tax court petition, which thankfully we do not have very many of them, but we do have one that filed a petition for pay 25 in Winstead City. The petitioners filed actually for the Gardens of Winstead, which is the nursing home, an apartment complex, and assisted living. They dropped the assisted living and the apartment complex, but they are going forward with the nursing home. Our current value on that nursing home is $5,707,500. The proposed offer from the petitioner was for $2,550,000. Obviously, a significant difference from where our value is at. We feel that our value is more in line. What I'm approaching the board for is to have an actual appraisal done on the nursing home. The gentleman's name is Dwight Dolan. I think maybe Paul and Doug, you've been familiar. He's done other work for us for quite a few years ago. He did. And he's willing to take on the nursing home and do a fee appraisal on it. If it needs to go to court, then he will help defend our value. It also gives us an idea, too, to make sure our value is in line to where it should be at. His fee is for a preliminary appraisal, $7,500. For a trial ready, an additional $3,000. So the maximum appraisal price would be $7,500. We would hire him first to do just the preliminary to see where the numbers come in at and see if we're in line. It also gives us negotiation ability so that if it's not, we can work with the petitioner. And then if it does go to trial, then we would have him do the additional $3,000. but I'm looking for board approval to be able to do at a maximum $7,500 for this tax court petition.
Sue, is you know, it's kind of hard to ask this question, but is this person, and I know who he is, I don't know him, but, or them, how does the actual owners of the building feel? Are they about what we're doing here? I mean, have you had any conversation that way? I don't want to say willing, but are they accepting the fact that to look at this new appraisal if we go on?
So when they file the tax court petition, they understand the fact that we will be doing potentially our own appraisal depending upon where they come in at. So this is standard procedure on a tax court petition. Especially, we notified them that we weren't willing to accept the 2.5 million, and that we are hiring our own appraisal. They'll most likely have their own appraiser do their work as well. So this gentleman, Dwight Dowland, would only be representing us. So this is pretty standard process in all of this.
Very good. Any other questions from the board?
Mr. Chair, I guess it's just necessary fact finding, so I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Seconded by Kruger. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Auditor Treasurer Connie. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. This is a little weird today. Today I am here for 3 items which are similar in nature for the drainage systems. I will need 3 separate motions. Houston Engineering of Maple Grove has prepared a scope of service agreements for repair plans, specifications, and construction management of county ditches 8, 10, and 36. During our February 24th, 2026 repair hearing, the board found that the repairs as recommended by the engineer were necessary and were in the best interest of the affected landowners. The board directed the repair of all 3 systems and did authorize its staff to solicit bids for the repair for consideration by the board. Please note that the total fees that were listed are estimates of hourly rates and charges based upon HCI's fee schedule. Fees do not consider our county staff time with staking, which will be a considerable cost savings to the 3 systems. Again, so you would just need to consider motions A, B, and C. CD8's total is $137,800. Excuse me. CD10's total is $68,100, and CD36 total is $58,300.
All right, I guess it's kind of self-explanatory here if I can get it interpreted right. So we'll start off with A, which is considering the estimate cost for of $137,800 for County Ditch 8. Is there any questions on that?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
if I might, I'm glad that we're taking these up as 3 separate motions. As most people are aware, my parcel is the outlet for CD10, and I think it would be the best course of action for me to not participate in discussion or a vote on CD10, and to be totally transparent in the process, and that's my reason that I'll stay out of the vote and discussion on CD10.
Thank you, Commissioner.
All right, if, outside of that, does anyone else have any questions on what's done? I guess we have discussed what we're going ahead with here earlier, so I guess I'll make the motion to approve going ahead with County Ditch 8 for $137,800. Is there a
Mr. Chair, I
second?
can second that motion.
Seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Any more discussion?
And
Here-
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I would just note, and it probably goes without saying, but as it relates to all 3 of these items, the board, if it acts, will be acting as the drainage authority for these various ditches, and, you know, not with that hat on. So sometimes we preference the discussion with that, but for anyone listening, just to clarify.
All right, yeah, thank you. I usually do and left it out this morning, but with that, any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. All right, the second one will be, let me see here. It will be County Ditch 10, is that correct?
Correct.
At a cost of $68,100. Any discussion on it?
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Commissioner Cheska. Any more discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The third one, or C, is County Ditch 36. And the estimated costs there are $58,300. Again, that's for County Ditch 36.
I'll move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Cheska to approve. Is there a second?
I can second it, Mr. Chair.
Seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Again, the funds of where they're coming out of are all listed in the agenda, so I don't think we have to cover those again, but is that all for you, Connie, this morning?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep. Environmental Services, Mark.
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Several items for you this morning for consideration. Item A is to consider approving the 2025 McLeod County Delegated Feedlot Program. On February 24th, 2026, the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, MPCA, completed a year-end review of the McLeod County Environmental Services Delegated Feedlot Program for the period of January 1, 2025 through December 31st, 2025. The MPCA has determined that the county satisfactorily met 11 out of 11, or 100% of the non-inspection minimum program requirements, MPRs. The county also satisfactorily conducted 19 inspections of the 229 feedlots required to be registered for an inspection rate of 8.3%. In addition, the MPC has reviewed the county's 2026 and 2027 delegation agreement and work plan by comparing it to the work the county has done. No modifications to the delegation agreement work plan have been proposed at this time, and the MPC commends the county for the work in 2025. John Nissy is our new environmental technician. He is the one that's handled these inspection processes. I'm very grateful for John and his work on this. He's picked up that program very quickly, which has allowed me to transfer some of my responsibilities to other programs. So big shout out to John for the work that he's done on this.
Questions from the board?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I just want to know, when this program started many, many years ago, this was just a couple pieces of paper. It's no longer that anymore. It's a very significant report that needs to be filled out by staff, and it's our choice to be able to run our own program instead of having, be subject to state inspectors, doing the work that are not familiar with the names and the presence of the local agriculture. So I think it's very important that we have the right people on the ground doing this, and Mr. Nessy does a fantastic job, and there's a lot of work to be done here, so.
Any other questions?
I think if we're looking for a motion to approve the program report, I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve.
And seconded.
And seconded by Commissioner Schmalz. Any more discussion? I have none, but Commissioner Wright covered it very well. I mean, less places, but a heck of a lot more work.
Yeah.
Hearing no other discussion, all in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B is to consider approving conditional use permit 26-03 as requested by John and Martine Ackland to grow cannabis in an existing accessory building for indoor and outdoor cultivation to be known as Wild Fields. The harvested plants will be taken to another facility within McLeod County for processing and distribution, so this would strictly be a cultivation site. The parcel is 61.38 acres located in Section 11 of Lynn Township. This property is also in the Hutchinson Area Joint Planning Area. The property is zoned agricultural. Plans for security and licensing have been included. The security plan is part of the Office of Cannabis Management OCM licensing requirement, as well as plant tracking at the state level. The Hutchinson Area Joint Planning Board recommended approval at its meeting on March 18th, 2026, with the following conditions. Number one, no processing, manufacturing, or retail sales of products will be allowed at this site. Number two, a new conditional use permit will be required if more than 5 non-resident employees are performing work on site. Number three, odors resulting from this use shall not be readily detectable at or beyond the property line. Number four, wastewater from the operation of indoor cannabis cultivation shall be captured in an on-site holding tank and disposed of at a licensed wastewater facility. No on-site disposal will be allowed. Number five, all black and gray water produced from this facility will need to be treated per Minnesota Rule 7080. Number six, all requirements of Minnesota Office of Cannabis Management Rule 9810 and all appendages pursuant to Minnesota Statute 342 shall be followed. Number seven, the applicant shall notify McLeod County Environmental Services if the operation ceases. So with that being said, there was a public hearing held at the joint planning area. John and Martine, applicants, are here if you do have questions for them.
I have no questions. I don't know about the rest of the board. It's been covered pretty well. I've kept my finger on the pulse there. Everything's being done as far as your office is concerned and the county. They've met all things that need to be, so.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, as the delegate on the Hutchinson Joint Planning Board, and also, this is also in my district, there were some, a fair amount of neighbors that showed up just because this is something new, but our findings are that they comply completely with all the ordinance. I think everybody was satisfied with the answers, and I will add that when the Acklins go to work and plant their crop, this is land that has been in the family for many generations, and they will become fourth-generation farmers at that. So I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cheska. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
I appreciate all the work going into getting the application to this point. After reading through the board packet, it looks like a very extensive process. Appreciate the work that the Planning and Zoning Commission did on it as well. Thanks for bringing it forward.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item C, consider approving conditional use permit 26-04 as requested by Emerson Brady, representing McLeod Co-op Power, to move, rebuild an existing 10-megawatt substation located in Section 28 Hutchinson Township to Section 16 Hutchinson Township due to age, capacity, and location. The Hutchinson Township Board recommended approval on March 12th, 2026. The McLeod County Planning Commission recommended approval on March 25th, 2026 with the following conditions. One, all pattern and drain tiles shall be repaired to pre-construction condition as soon as possible after construction. Emerson is here today if you have questions for him. The existing substations, for those that are familiar, it's just north of Bernhagen's subdivision on County Road 7, known as Bear Lake Road. It's a pretty tight area. There's a creek that runs on the south side of the property, so there are not a lot of expansion opportunities there for growth. So the co-op's been very good to work with. They did reach out to us a number of years ago looking for land and have been very transparent through this process. So I appreciate the work with McLeod Co-op Power.
Questions from the board? I have none. They're under almost as much scrutiny as we are, so I'm sure they're watching their P's and Q's, so.
Mr. Chair, if I may, so Emerson and I have been talking, and he did reach out to the neighbors, so I appreciate, again, the transparency that they did. Not a lot of applicants, will do that legwork. They'll wait for the public hearing. Emerson did that legwork. He explained the project to 2 of the adjacent property owners, which definitely helped, I believe, with the public hearing process.
Yeah, I would guess that's the main thing. And I mean, technology is changing and demanding, so we have to kind of changed with it. Any other comments or questions from the board? Commissioner Smalls?
Mr. Chair, just a question about the process. Are they abandoning the original site completely?
I can let Emerson speak to that. They'll own it, and there's some infrastructure that will remain in there, but as far as the poles, the transformers, they will all be moved. So they will keep the property for the purpose of liability. Is that a fair statement, Emerson?
We do have some critical
Give you the microphone.
We do have some critical infrastructure that's there. We have some cabinets and stuff that, for undergrounding cables. That stuff is going to remain, but there is a fence currently out there that encompasses, or I don't know how the proper term is, but it has electrical infrastructure inside of it. All that stuff will go away, and it'll be just a few cabinets there, and we will, as Mark said, we will retain ownership of the property.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I have done all in favor. Did we do it? Is there a motion to approve?
I can approve the request, Mr. Chair.
Commissioner Schmalz made the motion to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Kruger seconds. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Item D, consider approving conditional use permit 26-05 as requested by Dean Engelman of Plato to allow farm-related business of plant sales to include vegetables and flowers on his property. Dean runs a diversified farm-to-table business, Tingletown Gardens, located in Minneapolis, in which the produce is grown on his family farm, where he and his family reside. The property is located in the agricultural district and is located in the west half of the southwest quarter of Section 11, Helen Township. The Helen Township Board recommended approval on March 12th, 2026. The McLeod County Planning Commission unanimously recommended approval on March 25th, 2026 with the following conditions. The hours of operation shall be Thursday through Sunday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Dean is here today, so the hours that we established on there, originally Dean was looking at Friday, Saturday, maybe 4 weekends a year. Just because of the holidays, I said, are you sure you don't want to look at maybe a Thursday so you don't have to come back in front of us? And he's probably shaking his head that he still doesn't need that. But he ran into some issues with where he's located in Minneapolis. They're repairing a bridge, and he typically runs his greenhouse sales down there. And due to parking, he's had some challenges, so he came in and we spoke and asked about putting up another greenhouse for the opportunity to sell some produce locally. With that being said, since then I've had some conversations with the neighbors after our planning commission and with the city of Plato, and they're very excited about the opportunity to be able to utilize what they do out there. So I appreciate the work with Dean, and definitely an asset to the area.
I agree. I wish. I mean, I'm excited as well. It's in my district, and Dean's just excellent to work with. The whole Engelman family is. So I appreciate their work. So, any other questions from the board?
I just have a comment. Your Chair, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
I know Dean has also contacted some other businesses within McLeod County that do the same thing he does. So he has made them aware of that, that they'll be selling some stuff at their location as well. And I think he said that they were appreciative that you would call or talk to them and let them know what his plans are for that. So
I don't want to put you on the spot, Dean, but if you got anything to say, I'm in support of it. I don't think there's any negative things up here, but you might as well see your smiling face on the camera.
Well, it's great to be here with you all, so thank you for your consideration. But Mark, thank you. You've been great to work with, and it's really, we've got to get down McLeod Avenue right now in front of our shop. You'd have to get a really good run at it to make the 1,000-foot jump that you'd have to make to cross the bridge that's going to be missing for 2 years. So that was a precipitous to say, well, let's just relocate some of our sales. It does a second thing for me. It actually helps lift a big cloud of guilt that I've carried for many, many years, that I grow all of this stuff out here at our farm, and locals would ask me, can I come and buy it? And I have to say no. It's not that I'm too good for them, it's just that we haven't done it and we haven't been set up to do it. So two good things come out of it. I think we can do something. We're all about local. I think we can actually really harness that in what we're doing and give locals the actual opportunity to come in and shop and partake.
Thank you, Dean. I mean, data's starting to show that, I don't exactly know what the right terminology is, but the economic value or development value of the small farmer or the small business is coming out into the rural areas, and I appreciate that, and quite frankly, I'm proud of your business, so.
Thank you.
No concerns for me. I think Mr. Engelmann has definitely proved his leadership abilities in this area, so good job, Dean. So.
I'd make a motion to approve.
And I'm happy to second that, Mr. Chair.
Motion made by Kruger and seconded by Schmalz to approve the conditional use permit for Tingletown or Dean Engelmann. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Good.
The last item we have for your consideration this morning is to consider approving sketch plan 26-02 as requested by Angie Schmidt of Hutchinson for a one-lot sketch plan to create one additional building site with a shared driveway on property owned by her father, Lynn Nelson. The lot is proposed to be 3.92 acres approximately in size. It is zoned agricultural. The property is located, the property location is described as the north 10 acres of the northeast quarter of the northwest quarter of section 20 in Hutchinson Township. The Hutchinson Town Board recommended approval on March 11th, 2026. The McLeod County Planning Commission recommended approval at their meeting on March 26th, 2026. This was not a public hearing. Sketch plans are meant to not be a public hearing, just for the board to consider whether or not it meets the criteria and ordinance of hard to farm. This is a 10-acre building site. It is not tillable land. There are trees on the front half of this, and the Planning Commission did feel that it met that criteria.
Questions for the board? And wishes?
Move to approve.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cheska. Any more discussion or questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Public Works, Andrew, good morning.
Good morning. Item A, consider awarding state aid projects SAP 043605-017 and 043609-020, the bituminous overlay contract to Knife River Corporation of Sauk Rapids, Minnesota, at a cost of $1,576,831.15 with funds from the highway construction budget. The engineer's estimate for this project was $1,888,982.28. We received 7 other bids ranging from $1.6 million all the way up to $2 million on this project. We had 3 brand-new bidders that we had not had bid on projects in the past on this, so we had a pretty good bidding turnout.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Question, Andrew, can you just for the viewing public and for myself as well, explain, the roads affected and the process that we're going to do on those 2 sections of road?
Yep, these are mill and overlay projects, so we will be milling some of the pavement surface off and then overlaying and putting a new layer of pavement on top. We're going to be doing County Road 9 from Trunk Highway 7 up to Kingsley or Baker Avenue in Winstead, and then County Road 5 from the end of the concrete by County Road 1 all the way out to County Road 2.
Very good, Mr. Chair. And with that, I'll move the motion as presented.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmalz to approve. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cheska. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. B.
Item B, consider approving the joint powers agreement with the City of Hutchinson for the Southwest Stormwater Resiliency Project. In 2025, the City of Hutchinson completed its stormwater resiliency plan for the south part of Hutchinson. Part of this plan includes closing the ditch on the southeast side of the fairgrounds and construction of additional stormwater ponding and conveyance in the area. This project would fix stormwater deficiencies at the fairgrounds and convert some unusable space into usable space near the grandstands and infield. This agreement is for the design portion of the project. McLeod County will be the lead agency for the design. Design costs will be split evenly between the city and the county. And once the agreement's approved by both parties, staff will go out and we'll get proposals for the design work. I do have to make one change to the agreement that is in the packet. That is section 3.01, consultant award. It needs to read, the consultant requests for the proposal shall be approved by the parties prior to the solicitation of the proposals in accordance with the applicable provisions of Minnesota State Statute, Chapter 160. The county will cause proposals to be received for the design of the project. The city and county representatives shall jointly review proposals, and the county shall award the design proposals as determined by the county and city representatives. It's just some slight language changes in that section that came up.
Any questions on the changes?
And I will add that this was discussed at our joint workshop with the City of Hutchinson on March 31st of this year.
It was, and I mean, without getting it out in the weeds, there's some questions on how good it, I mean, everything's coming together in that corner, and there's some questions about what we already have, how good it's working, so we have to, I mean, it's kind of it's a need to move forward. With that, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made by Kruger and seconded by Commissioner Wright. Is there any discussion?
Just want to add, Mr. Chair, that I think there's several elements in consideration here. I think that there's a lot of economic development possibilities that are going to happen in that corner, and being able to wrap our arms around some of the safety concerns and some of the deficiencies that are currently there, and to work with the city in coming up with a sensible plan is going to benefit everybody. So I'm definitely looking forward to the results of this.
Yeah, there's definitely a benefit. I mean, some private businesses are there already. I mean, there's some stuff in, and the agreement, or the Hutch-McLeod agreement is necessary just to proceed and for the good of both, so I agree. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. See.
Consider approving the estimate from Davis Motorsports of Delano, Minnesota to purchase two 2026 Honda Pioneer 520 utility vehicles at a total cost of $26,280.20 with funds from the county parks budget. The vehicles will be used by the hosts at Lake Marion Park and Piepenburg Park campgrounds. They will replace a 2010 John Deere Gator and a 1999 Kawasaki Mule, which will be sold at auction this year. The new utility vehicles were included in the park's capital equipment budget. Additional estimates were received from Arnold's of Glencoe, Minnesota for two 2026 Kubotas at a total cost of $34,600. St. Bonnie Motorsports of St. Bonifacius, Minnesota for two 2026 Kawasaki Mules at a total cost of $32,206.32. And Moore Golf and Utility of Lakeville, Minnesota for two 2026 Club Car Carryalls at a total cost of $26,493 plus tax.
I noticed in here that we're trading out or replacing a Gator. Is there a reason there wasn't any bids from that company in here, or wasn't it applicable?
It just came down to cost. The listing costs on those were so much higher than the other vehicles we looked at.
All right, any other questions from the board? Hearing none, wishes of the board?
I'll move to approve, Mr. Chair.
Motion made by Commissioner Cheska to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Any more discussion? Hearing none. I guess I do have a question. When these two are, when the old ones are sold, does that go back into the fund, or does it come against that would offset some of these costs, or does it just go back into that your fund there?
I believe it goes back into the fund.
Same, but that's where it does go. All right,
Yep.
very good. Hearing no discussion, all in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Opposed, and motion carries.
Thank you.
Information and technology, Matt, there he is. Morning, Matt.
Good morning. Two items for you this morning. To consider item A, consider approving a statement of work from Insight Public Sector of Chandler, Arizona for professional services to implement Teams Phone within our Microsoft M365 environment at a fixed cost of $29,472 on the Omnia Partners contract with funds from the information technology budget. Teams Phone enables the ability to make and receive phone calls within Microsoft Teams and is included with our Microsoft licensing. Benefits of Teams Phone include improved collaboration, unified communications, simplified IT administration, cost savings, improved and compliant security, call recording, voicemail to email, and more. Our current MyTel phone system is 15 years old, will require significant and expensive upgrades in the near future, is complex to manage and support, and features like call recording are not currently available and expensive to add. The Minnesota Department of Human Services requires that eligibility workers be able to accept verbal signatures, which requires call recording. The Omnia Partners contract is a cooperative purchasing organization that McLeod County belongs to that has competitive contracts that we can use to purchase products and services.
All right, we've had several conversations on this, and I'm not going to even claim to be a technological person, but I do use the services that some of this provides, and I know technology keeps, we all know that keeps going, but with that said, wishes of the board.
Mr. Chair, I'll move request.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls to approve. Is there a second? I'll second it. Motion made by Commissioner Smalls and seconded by Commissioner Kruger. Discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
Yeah, with our workshop and Matt bringing this forward, I recognize the benefit, especially in the health and human services world today, with the capability of recording conversations and having that data to fall back on seems to be quite important in the day and age that we live in. So thanks for bringing it forward, Matt.
Thank you.
And as I commented before, I do use the Teams part. I assume it's all together of one way or another, and it does save the efficiency of me being able to use Teams. Saves us a lot of mileage, even as a commissioner. It saves me mileage and the convenience of being able to go on to a meeting and keep updated. Not that if it was super important that I wouldn't be there in person, but it really has made a convenience for driving 100 miles for a half an hour meeting. So it's and I know the technology. Every time I'm updated, I have to study a little while longer. So, but I mean that's all good, but it does help us. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Item B, consider approving a quote from Insight Public Sector of Chandler, Arizona for components to enable Teams Phone at a cost of $7,493.51 with funds from the information technology budget. These components will enable us to connect our current phone service to Microsoft Teams.
Wishes of the board.
Mr. Chair, I'll move request.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cheska. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. County Attorney, Brian.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One item for board consideration today, and that is to consider approving the new national opioid settlement and authorizing the county attorney and/or county administrator to execute any and all necessary documents to facilitate the settlement agreement. So there's been a new settlement reached with 6 regional distributors or dispensers, defendants, and that information was included in the board packet. For entities or governmental units to opt in to participate in this settlement, they must act on May 4th, 2026, and this settlement was reached by the Class Action Council. So in a lot of respects, it's just similar or an additional agreement as ones that have already come to the board for board approval. Relatively speaking, this is significantly smaller than some of those those earlier agreements. The defendants here are just smaller entities. They're regional, but they're not as large as the others. So this would be the board opting in to participate and receive settlement funds. The exact allocation that we would get will depend on how many other participants opt in and the like, which is similar to past agreements. So really it's kind of just a tag along as some of those earlier settlements. So I would be asking the board here to approve our participation.
So, Mr. Hinch, the litigation part of this is done, is that what you're saying? And
Not fully. I mean, this has been the size and scope of the litigation is enormous, with the possible defendants and the various defendants and the size of the class and the various cities, counties, states that are participating. But it would resolve the litigation as it relates to these 6 additional entities. So there's a group of 6 defendants that would be it would resolve the litigation as it relates to them. So I mean, we've been at this for a number of years as far as the opioid part of the litigations. How does this? So this is kind of an add-on from our initial one, and I know then we approved. This is approving, how many counties how did this come to be, lack of a better word? I mean, I understand it to that point, but I don't know how we got here. Sure. Well, I mean, when the class was certified, when there was obvious harms done in the way certain marketing and sales were as it related to opioid products that caused harm, all across the nation when it came to, addiction and other issues. There was a class identified, and that class could really include, these various municipalities, counties, cities that have, we were impacted by the detrimental effects of that opioid crisis. So when we opted in to join that class, that's when we've been represented by Class Action Council. That's representing hundreds of plaintiffs such as ourselves. That class, and then the net as far as who possible defendants could be is quite wide. I mean, it started with some of those more obvious and large, those huge brand names that everybody knows, and those were part of the bigger settlements. Now, when we get to like the settlement agreement that's before us now, I mean, we're talking about entities that you've probably never heard of. They're smaller. That's why this settlement agreement would be less. But there's so many defendants. The litigation is it's kind of, it's resulted in different agreements over time. Defendants that are similarly situated sometimes, resolved at different periods. It's just such a vast and ongoing litigation process that it doesn't all get done at one time. So this is just the latest, additional agreement that was able to be reached. So that's why we're.
And I'm not questioning you in opposition, by no means. I'm on. I just didn't know how we got here, and without muddying the waters too much, I know I got an invite to a meeting in Wilmer now coming up. Is that part of this? Is that part of all this, or is there going to be some explanations of this, or is that just the opioid?
It's connected.
Complete.
I don't know the exact specifics of the meeting that you were invited to, but it would be connected. And, I mean, this just comes down to, one global settlement. When the defendants are so different than each other and their roles are different, like one big settlement would just never be possible in a case
Correct.
this big. So every time there's a new, partial settlement that involves any of the defendants, we have to bring it before for a separate signature. So,
Okay.
so that's what this is.
And I guess personally, I was looking for, I get a lot of invites to a lot of different things, and I don't, that's an in-person, I believe, in Wilmer, and I had it sent out to the rest of the commissioners, but I don't know if they received it, but however, I just wanted to find out if it was worth our time to have somebody at least, or whoever wants to go to attend it. But it's a little offshoot of this as well, but it's all under opioid.
And I'd be happy to take a look if, someone sends it, or I can connect with Barrett, and I'm sure she's familiar
Okay.
as well, so.
Okay, so you were aware of what I'm talking about. Yeah, and it's probably more important than, it's, again, I don't want to muddy the water so much, but there's so much difference between some of the, I'm glad it's actually split out versus some of the big pharma. There's a lot of little ones. I don't know how legitimate they are or not. So, it's good to get this all out because they're definitely an issue. But again, I guess I beat that horse.
Well, no, it's a fair question. It's a unique process. These class actions kind of take on a life of themselves, and like you said, they take years. It's literally been years, and it's not.
So what you're telling me, it basically developed out of the court cases to a more specific vendors, at lack of a better word.
Yeah, we break out these separate settlement agreements. Yeah.
Wishes of the board?
Move request as presented.
Motion made by Commissioner Schmaltz to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Wright. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
you asked about the invitations going out, Public Health or McLeod, Meeker McLeod Sibley, CHB also received the invite. Like I said, you aren't alone. Us commissioners aren't alone with the invite that was sent out with the Wilmer meeting coming up.
Okay. Yeah, and I usually try to forward them if I know there's some importance there, but you can't go everywhere. But any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Employee Relations, Hannah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Just have one item this morning. Item A is consider approving a temporary allowance of $100 per pay period for one Health and Human Services employee who's taking on additional responsibilities in a temporary capacity.
Wishes of the board.
Is there an end date for this?
I don't have an end date. That's why it's not listed there. I would say I anticipate this will not be a long standing. I would anticipate maybe 2 months.
I don't have any problem with it either. I just, and I appreciate the transparency, but is this usually what we do? To me, it could have been done in-house. That's part of the operating procedure of doing it. That's a question. Not advice. I don't know how we normally do this, but if that's what it takes to keep operating, I personally wouldn't have a problem with the department head handling that, but I do appreciate transparency as well. But
Yeah, I will just say this is how we've handled situations like this in the past. I did bring it in front of the Personnel Committee briefly. So appreciate that support and trust, and we also are just bringing it for transparency.
wishes of the board.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
As Hannah stated, the Personnel Committee was notified and explanation was given about the request in front of us. And with that, I will move request.
Motion made by Commissioner Smalls to approve. Is there a second? seconded by Commissioner Chaska. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Administration, a review of commissioners' calendars. Should I go ahead? Well, since our last meeting, I have been involved in negotiations, or labor negotiations, which have been going very well. Thank you, Hannah. I've had a joint, on the 27th, I had a joint county ditch meeting with all our surrounding counties and all our projections for 26, 27 of work to be done on our joint ditches. That was held here, hosted by McLeod, and Connie and Janet did the good work organizing that. On the 26th, I had an ATP Mid-Minnesota meeting, and also we had a MRF committee meeting. I also had an HRA board meeting, a number of, back on the 24th, I also had a JD8 meeting, or actually hearing, Buffalo Creek, still going through some water issues there with the central ditch, which is just right north here of Glencoe. I did some AMC updates, and also a Trailblazer meeting. I've been fielding a number of calls on on water and on our appointment versus election of our auditor. And all I want to say on that is I have my thoughts that I feel are well educated and solid, and I'm always willing to entertain any constructive questions by phone or email. I guess that's all I have on up to today.
Okay. Starting on the 18th, we had a joint planning meeting, and that action item was approved here today. On the evening of the 23rd, McLeod County Fair Board met. We're just a few months away from the next McLeod County Fair, so it was all of the committees were running full speed ahead to get all of the different participants in line, and vendors are coming from all over wanting into the McLeod County Fair. Had an interesting little chat from Hutchinson resident Bill Arndt, who has been a participant in the McLeod County Fair for so many years that he was able to give 80 years of history of participating with the McLeod County Fair. And so he was able to talk all the way back from when he was young, a very young 4-H participant, all the way up to today, and he's still involved. So that was pretty cool. Had a budget meeting as well as a ditch on the 24th. Meeting at the MRF facility on the 26th and the 31st has been brought up. Our joint meeting with the Hutchinson officials and council members. Just a great opportunity to look at some of those issues together. And then an additional meeting at the MRF getting ready for elevator project. So.
Thank you, Commissioner Wright. At the beginning of our meeting this morning, we had a moment of silence for former Commissioner Ray Byrell. And I just want to say a few words about Ray and the service he did in District 1. Ray lived within a half a mile of my place, so I called him a neighbor and a friend. So this is taken right out of his obituary, and it's a short paragraph, Mr. Chair, which I'll read. In addition to Ray's work on the farm, he dedicated over 23 years of service as a county commissioner. He approached public service with the same integrity and practicality that guided every part of his life, working to strengthen his community and improve the lives of those around him. His leadership, fairness, and commitment left a lasting impact that will not be forgotten. And I will say, I think Ray affected me and my life in the paths I've chosen. 14 years ago, Ray pulled up on my yard for a visit, and he said, "Nathan, I'm not filing for re-election for county commissioner. Have you thought about being a county commissioner?" And it didn't take me long, and I told Ray, I have thought about it. So Ray affected my life and my life choices, and many other people, both personally and professionally. I'd like to offer my sympathies, my family's sympathies, and the family of McLeod County sympathies to Ray's family, knowing, recognition of the service that he gave McLeod County. Okay, Mr. Chair, I'll go on with my calendar. And I won't elaborate. I've got a lot of entries in the last 3 weeks. So we held our Tuesday board meeting here on the 17th of March, followed by a board workshop. And then on the 23rd, a Monday, our Community Health Board held a workshop right here at the Government Center, well attended by all the commissioners, all 6 commissioners from the 3, I should say all 6 commissioners, 2 from each of our 3 counties, also many staff people. What we're discussing is looking at the delegation agreement that was formed several years ago by the participating counties of the CHB, and trying to get an understanding of that agreement and how it can be improved as we move forward together. On the 24th, I also did a Zoom meeting that AMC hosted, and it surrounded the governor's proposed HHS budget. I can't say that it was good news for those of us involved with Prime West and South Country Health Alliance and the County of Itasca. It seemed to have a very negative message attached with it as far as county-based purchasing and karma. And then on the 27th of Friday, we had our joint drainage ditch meeting right here at the McLeod County Government Center. On Tuesday the 31st, we had a union negotiations committee with one of our unions that afternoon, and that was followed up by our joint workshop that we held with the City of Hutchinson late that afternoon. On Wednesday the 1st, I had my chat meeting. We schedule our chat meetings every other month. Community Health Assessment Team, which is a committee that serves our CHB in Meeker, McLeod, Sibley. Thursday, Prime West on the 2nd. The weather was coming in. It was a little bit dicey about whether travel was going to be well that day because of the ice and snow that was predicted. So luckily I could Zoom that meeting to keep me off the roads, and I appreciated that with the heavy schedule that I've had the last couple of weeks. On Friday the 3rd, LAC is what we call it. It's Mental Health Committee that I serve on, and we met at the Hutch Solid Waste Facility that morning. And then on yesterday, the 6th, MRC held a legislative update Zoom meeting, which Commissioner Kruger and I had listened in on and got a report from legislative actions and priorities, going on in St. Paul from our MRC staff. And then I handled several calls and texts over the last 3 weeks. Calls about forfeited property in my district, county ditch systems in my district, the County Road 5 and County Road 9 overlays that are planned for this summer, the auditor treasurer's position that we're looking at, and even it included stockpiling of manure and feedlots. So that's my report, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Commissioner Smalls?
On Thursday, the 19th, we had our Trailblazer meeting here in Glencoe that I attended. Then on Monday, the 23rd, I was also at the CHB workshop here. I feel like that's going to be beneficial once we get moving on that, and I think they want to have monthly meetings, workshop meetings, to try and move this along faster than our regular meetings every couple of months. On Tuesday, the 24th, I had the JD8 meeting here, and then in the afternoon, I also listened to the HHS budget update. Nathan and I had a few conversations on that, and it's like, you know, hopefully what they're saying isn't actually what they're going to do, but that'll have to wait and see on that. On Wednesday, the 25th, we had planning and zoning, and you heard most of that stuff here this morning. On Thursday, the 26th, I had UCAP. They're still plugging away with some buildings that they have and that sort of thing. They have a bowling alley they're turning into something eventually, but that's been on their send for the last year and a half since I started, so hopefully that'll get going and finished up shortly. On Tuesday, the 31st, I also attended the joint workshop with the City of Hutch. I thought that was very beneficial to hear everything that's been going on there, which is a lot. Thanks to Andrew for preparing a lot of that. Thursday the 2nd, I also Zoomed the Prime West meeting, and that's something that I'm getting more familiar with, but the numbers that they talk about still are so astronomical that it's hard to wrap your hands around something that large. So, and that would be, the other thing, I haven't gotten a lot of calls or whatever about much of anything except for the roundabout. And there is that meeting coming up in May, if anybody's interested. It's with MnDOT on Thursday, the 7th of May from 4 to 6. But that, I think, will continue to grow as it gets closer to the start date on that. So
Where is that meeting located?
it's at the Broughton Community Center.
Thank you.
And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just a couple of items to note. One, on Friday, April 3rd, my office hosted a training for our local law enforcement officers, most primarily in the county, but also from Renville and Sibley counties, and we were able to do that at the Hutchinson Event Center. The Hutchinson Police Department arranged that facility for us. And then I was joined by the elected county attorneys in Renville County and Sibley County as well. And we were able to train over 40 of our local law enforcement officers. They were able to obtain 8 credit hours of their continuing education credits or their post credits that are required. We were able to do that at no cost to any of the law enforcement agencies. My office utilized, forfeiture funds that we obtain when certain property or money is forfeited as part of a criminal case. There's statutory limits on what we can spend that money on, but one of them is training or educational programs related to law enforcement. So we were able to offer that training free. We were able to provide, coffee and rolls in the morning and a full lunch over the noon hour, so we kept everyone together all day. And it went really well. The McLeod County Police and Peace Officers Association also contributed a donation to help cover some of the costs for food and beverages and whatnot. So it was a great training. It was developed in conjunction with the Minnesota County Attorneys Association, and we're looking to continue to offer that regionally to different law enforcement agencies throughout the state, and we encourage that local participation from their elected county attorneys just to strengthen those relationships and provide a high quality training. So we were happy to do that. And then I would just put out another plug for on April 18th on Saturday at the McLeod County Fairgrounds. There's that We Care About Our Kids Day event taking place. So McLeod County Human Services, my office, the Sheriff's Office, a number of different organizations from the county will all be there, so families with children can come and learn about the resources available here in our area. But then there's also just a myriad of fun activities going on, bounce house, face painting. Sheriff's office will have one of their canines there. There'll be some other, vendors. There's prizes and drawings. There'll be food available. So, there should be activities for all ages. Should be another, fun, either low cost or free event. And, it can certainly be free if you choose not to purchase anything. So we're hoping for a great attendance that day. So thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Before I turn it over to our administrator, just a couple of comments. They actually, DOT send out cards, fairly good-sized cards. I received in the mail just general box holder cards that are pretty hard to miss, both on the roundabout open house and an open house for the bridge out here. So what I'll try to do is get them to our administrator to see if they want to put it on the website or.
We can look it up online.
Okay.
Thank
but
you.
It's done very well. And then I wanted to comment on two other things. I'm attending a lot of legislative updates, both MRC, AMC, and a whole bunch of other, and I watch them. I don't get overly involved in them because they're deadlocked. I don't expect a lot coming this year. If something reaches out to me, I'll make a comment to the legislator numbers that I have. But that's why I don't comment a lot more on them. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I don't expect it to go anywhere. And this last thing I had was all the commissioners commented on our workshop with Hutchinson. I had my mic off, so if you didn't hear me, I guess that's all right too. But at any rate, the workshop went very, very well, I thought, and I've talked to our administration to work on one with Glencoe. In fact, I don't think, to go on the road with our meetings is really hard, but I think just an idea for some of our workshops is to entertain any city that really wants to come in, because obviously Glencoe is the next biggest town from Hutchinson, but I just think the conglomerate, or however it's said, or just working together, knowing our people, it makes a really big difference. Or some of the ideas, whether they're 20 years out or 25 years out or 5 days out, I think it's good to have that relationship as we go along. And I know our administrator's been working with that, but I think that's pretty beneficial, because everybody's got their challenges on how to do things, and a lot of them are standalone, but we can help each other. That's all I have. Sheila, thanks.
Thank you. Item A, notification of board workshop following the board meeting on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026 at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue, North Glencoe, Minnesota. That's all.
Short and sweet. Open forum. Anybody wishing to address the board?
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
There's one thing I didn't mention when I gave my report, and that is if the public or anyone else is looking for the funeral arrangements for Ray Byrell, they're posted on the Chilson Funeral Home website, Winston, Minnesota.
Thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none. Press relations, any questions? Well, the next county board meeting will be at 9 a.m. on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026, at the McLeod County Government Center, 520 Chandler Avenue North in Glencoe. And I'd look for a motion to recess until that time.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Wright. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Chaska. Discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned. We're recessed.